BallisticFightingMethods.com. Thank you so much. Let's go to the phone lines if it's okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's say good afternoon to Leah. Hello, Leah. Welcome to the program.
How you doing, Leah?
Welcome to the Laura Dion-Jones Show.
Hello.
What can we do for you?
My name is Leah, and I'm actually the one that wrote the blog on Nick's blog page.
It was fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. If that doesn't convince women to sign up for Nick's seminar, I don't know what would.
Well, you know, it was a great program, and I've never experienced anything like it. And I have to say, I brought my 17-year-old daughter with me, and she took the class as well, and we were like both really impressed. And last week, my daughter actually had an incident where she was accosted by two guys. And with this program, she was able to fight them both off, take them down to the ground, and she walked away unharmed.
You're giving me chills. God bless her. God bless that girl. How tall is she? Let's just give our listeners a visual.
She's 5'6".
How much does she weigh?
She weighs probably about 150, 160.
So she's kind of an average build, average height.
That's right.
And she wasn't any like superhuman weightlifting, super strength or anything. And,
No.
And she was able to defend herself.
Yes, two against two.
All the more reason I'm signing up.
That's right.
Thank you very much for calling us today.
Great testimonial there.
Yes.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Leah.
God bless. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. You know something? I want to congratulate all our successful Elgin's Biggest Losers, past and present, who are losing it with Laura and keeping it off. And I know I sound like a broken record, but all the low carbers are losing the most weight again. And
You sound like a broken toe.
A broken toe. Thanks a lot. Nick, you got anything else you want to tell us?
Oh, I could spend all day here.
I know, me too. But it's unfortunate we only have 55 minutes.
Could you show something to Laura here in the studio in our mind's eye?
You know, I see a lot of glass walls, and I'm worried about my safety. You guys is for Laura, so you know, I'll save my techniques for the seminar part.
Perfect.
We let me ask you. I have some tasty topic interviews while we're waiting for our next guest to call in. Do we have Christopher Theodore? He's supposed to call in around 3:40.
Okay.
Unless you want to give him a call at this number right
Sure.
here.
Give me the number.
See
I'll
that
be more
right
happy
there?
to set them up. Give it to me.
Okay. Meanwhile, Nick, I have these questions I like to ask people.
boy.
And
These are tough, Nick.
let me see. Let me pick out a good one for you. What living person do you most admire?
What living person do I most admire? Probably be my teacher, Sifu Roy Harris.
Okay. And where's he located?
He's in San Diego, California.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
And
Probably listen today, Laura.
Yeah. You know, it's a toss-up between him and one of my other teachers, Paul Vunak. Both of those guys have just really helped me shape the life that I wanted to have.
no kidding. That's wonderful.
Where'd you
to
grow up,
hear.
Nick, in Chicago?
Yeah, I grew up out here.
Great.
In Elgin or more downtown or what?
I moved around a little bit through the suburbs. You know, Palatine for a little bit, Hampshire for a little bit. You know,
Hamster?
Dundee. That's about it.
Hampshire, it's just right around.
Oh, I thought he said Hamster.
He had one as a
He's
youngster,
like,
but
oh my God,
Hampshire, it's a
where's
very
Hamster?
fine community.
I wouldn't say that on air, but
No, teasing.
Laura, she's the host, Ken.
Teasing.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, Hampshire's a delightful community.
You know, Sandy.
A lot of folks say Hampshire. It's always
Hampshire
annoying.
or
Yeah.
it's Hamster.
Hampshire.
Or like New Berlin, Wisconsin. The ones who live in New Berlin, they call it New Berlin.
New Berlin, Illinois, the same way down near Springfield, New Berlin.
Sandy Krug, one of my
St. Joseph,
Elgin's
Illinois.
biggest losers,
Yeah.
she went to a food and wine festival a couple weeks ago in Aspen. And she took some footage for me that I need for my documentary. And she introduced herself at the beginning of the documentary. And she said, hi, this is Sandy Krug. I'm one of the Elgin's biggest losers, blah, 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 coming to you from Aspen, Illinois. So anyway, is Christopher on the line?
He sure is.
Oh my God, our next guest is Christopher Theodore, and he's the founder of Theo Yoga. It's yoga for our youth, and he's based in Philadelphia. Chris teaches a non-traditional method of yoga to help combat obesity, diabetes, ADD, and behavioral problems, building confidence and self-esteem along the way. Welcome, Chris, to the Laura Dion-Jones Show, and thank you very much for getting in touch with us. It was a pleasant surprise to hear from you.
Well, thank you for letting me be on the air, and you know the reason why I wanted to be on the show, don't you?
Because of the work with kids and obesity that I do?
Well, that's one of them, but I have another reason.
Nick's here.
Because Nicky's here with his ballistic fighting methods?
That's the third reason.
I'm honored.
Okay, what's the first reason?
The reason is, when you
Oh, you better believe it. Thank you so much for saying that. You know what? I got to tell you this. I joined the competition about a month late. All the front runners have 8 million, 9 million, 10 million votes. I ended up with 8,500 to 10,000 votes. However, there's a lot of people that have asked me for Mark Burnett's email and for his snail mail address because they want to lobby on my behalf. And they want him to make an exception and to let me into the contest. So from your mouth to God's ears, I think you and Nick, here my guest who was in studio, Nick Farooqui, I think you guys could be my two go-to guys. You for one of the kid yoga things, and Nikki for the self-defense without question.
I'll be there for sure.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Chris.
Well, I was born and raised in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm not mad at the Blackhawks for beating the Flyers. I'll let that go.
You'll forgive us, right?
And
You guys played like weenies.
Quite by accident. In December of 98, I was diagnosed with a brain aneurysm. And what had happened was I went to see my doctor, Linda, who's the greatest doctor in the world, and I had tinnitus in my ear. It was ringing in my ear.
Oh, my.
I was taking a part-time job while I was getting my master's, and I was working with arborists, taking down trees, working with the chipper and the chainsaws. Nevertheless, I developed this ringing in my ear. So she checked me out. She goes, "You have tinnitus, but I need you to see an audiologist just in case." And just in case was the MRI, which diagnosed a brain aneurysm.
No kidding.
Yeah. So January of '99, I had brain aneurysm surgery, and thank God, I'm knocking on wood that I'm all right.
Mm-hmm.
And a month later, and it was very fortuitous for the tinnitus to happen, because if we didn't find that, it had nothing to do with my brain aneurysm. Every time I have ringing in my ear now, I feel great because of that ringing, they found my brain aneurysm.
So they would not have found it.
Well, I guess there's a chance. You never know, but thank God they did, and they took care of it. They drained it, clipped it, and here I am. So anyway, a month later, I'm in my house and I'm resting. You know, they cut your bone and they cut through the trapezius muscle, so I couldn't move my neck, and I'm just resting. And it was my nephew's birthday. Nephew Jake came over to celebrate his birthday. He just turned 18. Phone rings. It's my wife, who just went for a routine chest X-ray. They said that she had cancer. So he drives me with my crazy back and my neck, I couldn't move, to go get her, and 8 months later she went through chemotherapy, and she said, "I'm going to sign up for a yoga class." So we go to the school, they move all the desks in the room for yoga. Next door to the yoga class is an introduction to drumming. It was the most non-conducive yoga class you could ever take in your life, because these people are banging their drums, and we're taking yoga classes, and I realized there was more to it for me, and the calm was great, and I knew I could use it. You know, I'm a phys ed teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately implemented that into my curriculum, and since then, it's been, I don't know, the past 6, I've been certified for 6 years, but for the past 3, I'm single-handedly trying to add this into the curriculum, into the entire Philadelphia school system. As a matter of fact, I do professional development for the city and all the phys ed teachers. So that's one of my part-time gigs. That's what I do.
So you're using yoga to help transform the lives of the young people you teach in at-risk communities, correct?
Oh, yeah. I taught in some schools, and the children are a challenge, to say the least. How's that? And I was trying any type of strategy, behavior management, and you know, everything starts at home, and if there's nothing going on at home, you can't get through to them. But, you know, I'm a basketball coach, volleyball coach, very athletic, and I wanted to try things, and I implemented yoga. See, what I do for my class, an average 45-minute class, I'll tell you really quickly, is cardio starts. So I'm going to jump rope for 10 minutes, jog, race. I'll put music on and run around, so I'll get their heart rate up. Then we do yoga for 15 minutes, and the rest of the class is whatever activity we have that month. You know, I do a very interesting curriculum. We'll do the basketball, the baseball, we'll do football, we'll do soccer, and we'll do group games to develop camaraderie, teamwork, you know, team building, and things of that nature.
I particularly like how you help better the lives of the students from the challenged families and communities, and I really liked when I watched the videos on your website how you worked with the kids and how you got them to do the poses, and it was, as you say, non-traditional. It was yoga, but it was definitely, I liked how you got the kids involved, how they responded to you. It was just amazing for me to see that. And do you find that disciplining the body directly disciplines the mind?
You know, when you're doing yoga, I try to emphasize the breathing. You know, yoga is the union between the mind, the body, and the breath.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you're working the body. And if you focus on the breath, you can't think about anything else. So, when you're in a tree, for example, a tree pose, where you have one foot on the side of your thigh, and the foot is balancing your whole body, your hands are up in the air, and you're doing your breathing, you're not thinking about falling. You're not thinking about what you're going to do in your next class. You're not talking about somebody you're going to meet later. You're not talking about the game that was last night. You're thinking about your breath. You really can balance. Thus, it's working your mind. Obviously, the more breath you get to your brain, the smarter you are. And the breath is so important. I mean, it increases, the more you increase the breathing, the capacity for your muscles is stronger. It massages the muscles. It's so good for your life, just the breath. I mean, I teach my children, when you're stressed out, when you don't get your way at home, or the teacher, you don't do your homework, and the teacher yells at you, or if you're in a confrontation, use your breath. When we were younger, it was a count to 10. Well, you can count to 10 in 3 seconds. What's that doing? If you're using your breath, at least you have a chance to think about what you're about to do.